'cause I keep giving bad people good ideas.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Battlefield 6. I know I already released like a little review type of video kind of talking about my first initial thoughts on the game, and I'm going to try kind of stay away from that, but more talk about stuff that I think they should add into the game, maybe possibly tweak. Again, nothing too big. Again, like stuff like movement, I know they're gonna try work on making the movement a little bit better. But again, like with COD, I do think the Omni movement was kind of cool that they added that in. But that's the only cool thing that COD's done in the last like 5 years to the game. And then also on top of that, for like Battlefield to copy it, I just think it wouldn't really fit the game that well. And then number two, it just would be a shitty copy. And then again, it fits COD because COD's more arcadey, more unrealistic, as again Battlefield it's kind of giving that more realistic effect. So again, so far with the movement and stuff, I like it. Again, we're talking about possibly doing some tweaks, and I'll get into today's video on my issues with it so far, but it's not really like too many like, oh, you gotta change this completely, blah blah blah. It's just legit those issues and bugs that they do need to fix. But pretty much besides that, I put about 28 hours into the game, so roughly almost like 30 hours so far into the game. And that's why like multiplayer, I haven't really touched the campaign at all yet. I don't know, I just kind of, I like playing campaigns of games, but then also at the same time, it's like, I could kind of give one less fuck, especially like Battlefield. It's kind of really hard because there's not like a main character that you've been like following all these years, like in games like Bayonetta or like Halo and stuff like that. So again, I don't know, I do want to at least give it a try, see if it's good. Again, I never heard of a Battlefield campaign being like crazy good besides like really bad company, but also I've never heard them being terrible. So again, I want to try to do a playthrough on the channel of that, but yeah, in today's video, let's at least get into my movement issues or the bugs that I do think they need to fix. And one of them, at least like I've noticed, people are saying this happens when you're climbing up ladders. Sometimes it will kind of like launch you off the ladder, or like just kind of like push you or whatever. I've had that a couple times, but what my main issue is if I'm running off of something. This isn't really buildings, because buildings you pull your parachute and stuff, but like, so I'm running off of like a little piece of sheet metal that's like raised up a little bit like a ramp. If I run off of that, or like a piece of like cliff that's not that high, probably like 3 feet off the ground, for whatever reason, when I run off of that, it like fucking, it's like if I jump off of diving board or whatever, it like shoots me up like an extra 2 feet for no reason. Because I get it, if you're like running off, you're gonna not instantly to stick to the ground, you're gonna have to drop, but it's like weird because you don't even drop. It's like, because I made sure I'm not hitting space or anything, or any of that issue happening while I'm running off and then jumping. It's like I'm not even hitting space, I'm only hitting W, running off of a platform sometimes, or running off of like, whatever, a little ledge or something. And it'll just kind of shoot me up an extra 2 feet or some shit. And it's annoying sometimes because you're in like gunfights, and it really fucks with your movement, and then sometimes can get you killed and shit. Or if you're just trying not be detected by a tank or detected by people, and you're trying to sneak up on them, and then you launch up an extra 2 feet, 3 feet, and then they all spot you and kill you. It's kind of fucking annoying. But that's like my only really issue I've had with the game, I would say, at least. Because again, they optimized the game pretty well. I've had it where I did crash a couple times, but I just think it's kind of, again, I don't have terrible specs on my computer. I gotta probably update them. I probably will, try to throw them in my description now. Not to like flex on people, but if people are curious and shit. Because I do have like, I think like, I don't know, because I bought this computer off my friend, so I don't know the exact CPU, and it kind of sounds bad, but while that started loading up, I'll go on to something else. But, yeah, I've also just had it crash a couple times, but just usually, like, just hella shit's going on, and I think my computer just kind of like, yo, what the fuck's going on, whatever. But yeah, I have an AMD Ryzen 7 5700X, and then 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM, and then I have that with a RX 9060 XT. So it's like not a terrible build, and again, this game's optimized pretty well, and I just think sometimes you just get kind of unlucky. But yeah, besides that, I do think it would be really cool, and they have announced and talked about this, because I saw this online, and I didn't know, I was hoping it wasn't just bullshit, but they're talking about adding in naval warfare, and I know we've kind of had that in, like, past, Battlefields, like, fucking, Battlefield 4 and stuff. And I think it would be really cool to have, like, a mixture of maps where it's, like, land and, sea fights and stuff, where you're fighting on ships, and then you're also fighting on land, like in Battlefield 4 and stuff. And, again, those maps were really fun. But then also, I think it would be cool to have some maps where just straight up boats. Like, you're just straight up in the middle of the fucking ocean, and you got, like, jet skis, and just jump on, like, battleships that people are just, like, flying jets off of, and you got, I don't know, have each battle jet maybe be a point, and you gotta hold down them or whatever. Not battle jet, but, you know, battleship, whatever the fuck they're called, that have, like, the big ass jets. They, like, stick, like, 5 of them bitches on there, and, like, they got a whole crew working on there. I don't know, I feel like they could go really, do some really creative things, and I kind of can't wait for that. But, yeah, no, I feel like it would be really cool to see a mixture of maps where it's, like, yeah, some more it's, like, sea and land, and you're jumping from the ocean to land, and you're all over the place, and then some are just straight up naval warfare where you're like on jet skis, mini little boats, jumping onto like bigger battleships or bigger boats fighting people and shit like that, and helicopters and all that fun stuff. And I feel like, again, like I said, they could get pretty creative with it, like have it where you're all fighting on a big steam rig or something, or like you're all fighting on an oil rig, or you're like those multiple little oil rigs are all fighting on and stuff like that. And then also I think it would be really cool. And I know it's kind of harder now because games are kind of getting more and more demanding, and they do want to try to keep the game as optimized as possible. But I think it would be. Sorry, I don't know why my throat is so raspy and so dry. I need to take like a drink of water real quick. I sound like an old man. Okay, that sounds holy. Dude, water is like, I thank God for water. Like, you see like the difference. But like what I was saying, it'd be really cool if in maps like I remember in Battlefield 4, like Shanghai, be really cool if we see some more maps, because the maps are really interactive, and you ram a tank through some buildings. Sometimes it depends on the type of building and stuff, but majority of the buildings, if you ram a tank or you have like a big explosion like a rocket launcher or C4, you could blow up walls and like kind of like fuck up buildings, and you know, kind of destroy shit and destroy the environment, which is cool. But I feel like it would be really cool, like I was saying, like with maps from like Battlefield 4, like Shanghai, if that's having remasters or adding in completely new maps, well, to pretty much amp that destruction up a bit. Like, I remember on Shanghai, if you destroyed the big ass building in the middle, or I think that's what the map was called, but you destroyed this big ass building in the middle of the map. If you destroyed that building and shit, it just fucking changed the map completely. Like, I kind of, like, I don't know, I feel like, yeah, there's destruction, and that's a cool aspect in the game right now, but I feel like it'd be even cooler with future maps that we see, that the destruction actually changes the map, besides, oh, there's now this wall that's blown open, and instead of jumping through the window, you can just run through the wall. I feel like it'd be really cool to be like, oh, you destroyed this building, and it destroyed all these other buildings, and now you have to run through the rubble, and now instead of worrying about this fucking, I don't know, water pathway that was an issue, you could just run over it now, but then this area is kind of blocked off, and you have to kind of find a way around it. I don't know, I'm not a map creator, but you get what the idea I'm trying to throw out, though. Make the destruction amp that shit up a little bit, because it's cool to have the destruction and stuff and have it where, like, yeah, tanks are blowing off walls, explosions are interactive with buildings and stuff, but I feel like it'd be a little cool if they did go a little step up with a couple maps and just make it where, like, okay, you destroyed this thing and it completely changed the map completely for everyone until the end of the match or whatever. But besides that, I feel like that's all my real little ideas that I can come up with for, at least at the moment. I'm really enjoying the game, and it's not really like a critique being like, oh, the game's terrible, they need to change this and fix this. Really, the game's optimized pretty well. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. They definitely do need to polish up a couple things with the game, definitely. Fix some glitches, and then, again, just kind of get that naval, fucking update out for everyone to play, and kind of maybe go off some ideas from the community, if that's my ideas or other people's ideas. But yeah, no, that's at least what I've seen online. I even tried to double check it, and a lot of the sites and stuff that I saw were confirming it. So I don't know. I could be completely wrong, and we might never see a naval update in this game. But at least that's what I've seen from, like, majority of like, at least gaming news websites or whatever that have kind of reported this. If I look it up real quick too, because yeah, no, it's like strongly hinted at that it's in development. So that's at least what the internet's saying. And I don't know, I feel like it's kind of dumb to go off the internet, but again, I don't know. With a lot of gaming websites and gaming news sources, they're kind of 50-50. But, again, I hope so. I hope we see some kind of thing like that. Again, this is, like, why I'm kind of putting this video as, like, stuff that they should add. If this isn't something that it is in development, definitely should be. But, again, a lot of people are saying that strongly hinted at and stuff like that. So hopefully we see it, and hopefully we see it soon. And yeah, besides, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye, guys.